All right, folks, welcome to the first match of Local Legends here at the Local Battles Gaming Center in Fort Lee, New Jersey. I am Caster Masa. Joining me on the desk is Jigua. Both of us, you can find us at House Party 5v5. Right into picks and bans. Here we go between Adequate Team Name and Andy's Big Elo. Adequate, we've actually seen play at Kineticon about a month and a half. I had the pleasure of casting them, so it's good to see them back again to play in another tournament in the local area.
Yes, I'm going to be excited to see what champions we're going to have coming out of picks and bans. Jin is extremely impressive in the current patch. Yes, he was tuned. Yes, he was been tweaked with some hot fixes, but realistically, he is still just as powerful. So that's a very good ban coming out from them right now.
Yeah, definitely good to see him banned away, as well as Gangplank and Shen, who have seen a lot of play really quickly in the meta, at least with the patches of 6.15, 6.16, with the kind of nerfs to Aurelia and a couple of other players in the top lane as well. Hecarim and Cassiopeia also pretty meta as far as the picks and bans go. Ban that away, don't want to deal with those today.
Daria's pick does surprise me. It seems like there might have been someone on the other team who is very strong on Darius and you just don't want to play it, and we all have to remember that even though he's not seen very much, Riot said when they released him, we want him to get pentas, so that's why we're seeing him banned away.
Yeah, actually, one of the things we do know is that Tuba does play a lot of Darius, actually, so that banned away is probably a targeted pick for him. Nautilus picked up here, though, for Adequate Team Name immediately, which means we are going to see them pretty quickly. Probably pass that off to Purification, one of his stronger supports, at least in recent times. And probably one of the shakier players. It's definitely a good idea to get him a comfort pick right off the bat.
And Nautilus's ult was changed during this. When he targets the depth charge, all the champions in the line that get knocked up as well are stunned in addition to that knockup. So it's a little quality of life for Nautilus, but it feels very good for avid Nautilus players.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of a quality of life, gives him a little bit more crowd control, a bit more tankiness in that disruption chain as well. Meanwhile, for Andy's Big Elo, Rumble and Janna picked up for presumably their top laner and their support. Josh plays a ton of Janna, so that's definitely a thing we were looking to see out of him. And don't really know if Andy plays Rumble, haven't seen him on it recently, at least as far as his solo queue history goes, but pretty sure you can make that one work.
That might also be Garani picking that up for himself as well. I have seen a significant amount of Rumble in the jungles coming out. He does a lot of damage, is able to drop the ult from Fog of War, which allows you to get that slow, and the Rumble, it gives them a bit more time to calculate where they want it, and those ganks are typically pretty good.
Very true. Actually, you are right. We did see a lot of Garani playing Jungle Rumble, at least as far as the solo queue history goes, with the team practices as well. So that might be definitely a flex pick for Andy Big Elo. In the meantime, Ezreal and Gnar being picked up here too. We're probably going to take that Gnar to the top lane, as he is wont to do. And Rixie going to pick up that Ezreal as well. Ezreal actually, surprisingly, one of the very overlapping carries as far as this tournament's player pool goes. So definitely something we're looking forward to see if people are going to let people get that in the future as we move on. In the meantime, Sivir and Fiora looking to be hovered here for Andy's Big Elo. Sivir, of course, actually locked in for QO, and Andy Young probably going to take that Fiora to the top lane. So it is looking to be that jungle rumble, like you said.
Yes, and I am going to want to watch this top lane matchup. If this Fiora starts being able to take on the Gnar, if she gets ahead, if she's able to use that split push presence that Fioras are so want to do, then that is going to provide so much pressure for this team and absolutely hurt this rotational team, this CC giant team fighting team that we're seeing come out on the other side. Gnar, Nautilus, Ezreal, if they do lock in that Thresh, they're going to want to be a giant group. They're not going to be split pushing. They're not going to be doing as much in those outside lanes rather than maintaining them. So if they have to go against a Fiora that's constantly going to be pushing one of these lanes, constantly be pushing something else, then that's going to be a big problem for them. And wow, a Karthus coming out from the mid lane. This will be interesting, folks.
Yeah, Gelati has played Karthus, played it a lot actually during the Kineticon tournament as well. But looks like Purification actually picking up the Braum for himself there in the bot lane. So not going to be Nautilus support for Purification like we originally mentioned, but actually going to be
Nautilus jungle.
Jungle, yeah, going to be Huevos on that Nautilus in the jungle, I think. So let's see to see how that one goes, which means Andy's Big Elo does have the final pick, and that is going to be for their mid laner. Let's see what program wants to take up against the Karthus from Gelati. all of the meta picks still open as Zir, Zillion, little bit of Rise potentially as well. Orianna as well, actually. One of his
I would have
champions
rather
there.
seen an Azir come out from this, with the Gnar jumping in, with the Karthus trying to get just close enough, with the Nautilus, the Braum, all of that signals to me we want a team fight, we want to get in on you, and they already have the Fiora for split pushing presence. Yes, they're going to want to stack the Orianna ult with the Rumble, but I still think that the Azir disengage is a lot more valuable in this scenario.
I definitely would agree with you. That being said, I haven't seen really Program play the Azir. A lot of his ticks tend to hunt towards Assassins as well. But Orianna was in his match history control pool for him there. We'll see how that one works in the meantime. That being said, rolling right back down the list, guys. Adequate team name on the blue side. Tuba on Gnar in the top lane. Mayor of Huevos on Nautilus in the jungle. Gelati on Karths in the mid lane, and the dual bot lane of Ezreal, Braum, Phyrexian, and Purification. On the red side, Andy's big elo. We've got Andy Hyung on Fiora in the top lane, Garani on that Rumble in the jungle, Program on Orion in the mid lane, and the blue lane of Kuo and Josh on Sivir Janna. That being said, we are heading into the Spectator delay, and we'll see you guys in just a few minutes when we hit the Rift. Alright guys, welcome back to the game 1 of this is going to be Adequate Team Name versus Andy Big Elo, and we walked face first into a pause. Wonderful! That being said, window client issues does seem to get fixed, so we're going to be ready to go in just a second.
Here we go. I'm looking forward to it.
Alright, let's see here though. Everyone kind of stuck on the summoner platform with those new barriers put in. 50 seconds though, and the teams move out. Moves to be pretty of a split thing going on here right now. Adequate Team Name moving towards the bot side jungle kind of as a unit, while ABE trying for that bigger split across the river, trying to get some scouting in.
They do have a good amount of early game damage. If they can catch someone out, then that's going to be what they're going to be able to follow up with, but it doesn't look like that. Janna leveling her Q level 1, so that's really the only knowledge they're going to get out of that and move back to regular lane.
Alrighty then. That being said, looks like ATN going to retreat back into their jungle after that tornado level. Fiora did manage to get a deep ward in by the blue side, so they will see Mayor of Havos when he comes around to that area as well. But looks like otherwise pretty even starts. Rumble going to start in the top line of that jungle at the Krugs on the red side. Same for Huevos. And in the meantime, looks to be standard lanes.
Yeah, we're going to be enjoying a very healthy game type. There's been a lot of arguments going back and forth through Reddit, through the forums, of whether or not the split push, swap lanes, you just try to get as many towers down as possible is going to be healthy. The new tower changes give a lot of gold to the team that breaks down that first tower, especially with that local gold. If you're able to stack it properly, you can get your ADC or top laner or someone a good chunk of gold ahead just by grouping up and split pushing that first turret. But I'm going to look for the skill matchups, whether or not Ezreal Braum is going to outpace this Sivir, whether or not the Fiora is going to beat this Gnar in the top lane, and definitely what's going to happen in this mid lane. So I'm very excited for what's going to happen here.
Yeah, very true. That being said, things pretty even, pretty standard starts here for both teams going into these regular lanes. Bit of trading back and forth between the carries as we move through the lane phase. Everyone keeping up pretty well, though Rixie getting a little bit of the better of QO and Josh in the meantime. But Ricochets come out and the trades come through. Things are going to be all right for now. Meanwhile, top lane, Tuba and Young trading away as well. Going to be a little bit difficult for Fiora to keep up with Gnar in the early stages of the game, but she does outscale him very quickly with that percentage health true damage. We'll see how that progresses as the lane phase moves on. But in the meantime, nothing stupendously different for these guys. Rumble and Nautilus clearing their buffs and their camps and moving through the jungle at relatively slow paces, actually. Nautilus and Rumble not necessarily known for their fast jungle clears.
Yes, but Rumble, as the game does go on, will start clearing that significantly faster just because of the items that they get. In Rumble is building damage as opposed to Nautilus, more known for that tanky stat line. In the bot lane, though, we're going to see this Sivir constantly push in this Ezreal because of the way the Ricochet works, because of the Boomerang Blade that just does so much damage to every single minion in the wave. And it's going to either help them or possibly hurt them if Josh doesn't keep up with the warding and remember to ward his flank.
Yeah, we'll definitely be able to see as this moves along. QO and Josh are going to be pushing pretty heavily. Sivir, like we said, going to have a much stronger pushing potential than Ezreal. Good absorb on the spell shield there, nice reactions, but does get tagged by the Winter's Bite. Takes a little bit of a chunk of damage there, but uh-oh. Purification
Looks like he's going in.
Yep. There's the passive tag there from Rixie. A little bit late in the minion wave, though, so Q escapes a large chunk of that harass. Meanwhile, Mayor of Huevos in the top area. Garani clearing up that blue buff in the bottom, heading down towards his bot lane now. So we'll see how that one goes in just a moment as the junglers make their moves across the map.
He might be seeing a gank mid lane. Let's get ready for that. Nautilus is going in. Oriana's going to run straight towards Rumble. Rammus.
Yeah, as it is, nothing happening in the mid lane. As direct camera will refuse to show me anything because nothing happens. So, that being said, focus here really on the bot lane as far as we are concerned. A lot of action going on here. A little bit of a mid lane, ships passing in the night in the mid lane there. But in the meantime, nothing too big from either side. Junglers come in for the counter ganks, reveal, and take their time backing away. Don't really want to go for the 2v2 that early with Karthus Oriana.
And in the top lane, we're starting to see Fiora hit that point where she's feeling comfortable to start going in on this Gnar. She has a level advantage because she's pushing the wave. Once you see those items start coming out after that first back, it's going to start becoming an area of contention where we're going to see a lot of this trading coming out.
Yeah, one of the important things to note here is that Andy Hyung still hasn't used any charges on his corrupting potion there in the top lane. Ooh! Rixie takes a chunk of damage from the Boomerang Blade, but it's not quite enough to drop him. But that is going to be Mayor Huevos there in the bot side. Does walk on a ward, so they know he's there, and back off. But as I was saying, Hyung hasn't used a single stack of his potions. To be fair, neither has Tuba, but that means they have been pretty much content to just farm at each other at this point. Nothing really big going on in terms of actual harass and sticking power.
Yes, and especially with that lane matchup, they're really not going to be doing anything that early. You're going to see a lot of damage coming out 6, 7, 8, and then of course later once you get items. But for right now, let's see if they're going to drop this. Nope, he does not launch the shield after that, but the Janna Tornado was used to get some harass out. Looks like Ezreal's going to have to back away though, which is huge because this allows the Sivir lane to have a double back clear and get back to lane quicker.
What are you doing? Very true. That being... Oh, hold on a second. Tuba gets the Rage Bar. Doesn't do anything just yet.
Yes, and that's going to be the one point that Fiora needs to avoid during this entire thing. If she could parry the stun or parry the ultimate, that will turn the fight in her favor. But short of that, she will not want to fight this Gnar when he has his Rage Bar.
Yeah, definitely a scary thing to fight in the Mega Gnar. Does give him back a lot of health retention too, with the extra bonus health being added into the mini form as he comes out of it. So, a lot of sustain, actually, surprisingly, in the kits of both of these top laners. But Huevos here clears out the ward. Garani, though, actually also on the side, anticipating the gank. Does stick around a little bit. He has got spotted out on the ward, though, and Tuba knows he's there, just bounces away, and that's going to be a pretty easy escape for ATN's top laner. Garani, though, going to pick up a ward of his own and slip back into the jungle. Pretty much mirrored from both teams, actually.
Exactly. That's the mark of a good team, where both of your junglers are kind of understanding what lanes are vulnerable, what lanes are probably going to get ganked, and the jungler then responding to those lanes, making sure that they're at those lanes that are going to get ganked and responding to the lanes that they should be ganking.
Yeah, definitely some pretty good strategic play here. Right now, 7 minutes in, still no kills, no first blood coming through. A very slight gold lead here, though, for ABE, 500, give or take. Almost on the dot, actually. But that, of course, is not a game-winning lead by any means, and we'll get pretty evened up fairly over time if they manage to get some pressure down here on the lanes from the junglers. But both of them seem content to farm and enjoy their relative solitude and make sure that the other jungler doesn't try any fishy business.
And that gold lead is almost entirely in this bot lane. They're sitting about 20 gold, 20 farm up. It looks like we have a ping for this dragon. It's going to be an Earth Drag. And let's see if this turns into a fight, as wards have been pinked out and both junglers are bot lane.
Wish that was bigger. Definitely true. Mayor Huevos clearing out the pink ward as he goes through. They did get spotted out on the second warrior ward closer to that tri-bush, and didn't manage to clear that one out, so that vision does still remain for ABE. Nothing gonna come of it though. Garani and Huevos healing back into their jungle. Tuba, though, gets the last hit of Hyper Parry, doesn't manage to get that power spike in the damage.
Good damage coming out though. That's for a combo that didn't fully hit. It did a significant amount, and now Tuba has to stay back, let his Narc bar get full, pop into that full bar, and then just sit there so that he gets that health regen.
Very true. Well, it's not a bloodbath. That's probably a good thing for both these teams, playing very measured. Oh, though, here comes the engaged purification. Electric Fissure comes through. Kyo gets exhausted, and they do manage to get the Howling Gale on Rixie. Cuts that engage short. Josh peeling quite effectively and keeping his carry safe. Kyo going to escape relatively easily. Exhaust blown for purification, but that's, and ult blown as well. But that's it on the side of this engage. Both bot laners of ABE have their summoning spells and their ultimates up still. Oh, actually, I think Kyo blew on the hunt. So, 2 ults, 1 ult traded, but an exhaust down in the bot lane here for ATN.
Gonna have some shenanigans in the bot lane.
Yeah, Rixie face checks into a bush, gets a boomerang for his troubles, but that's okay. Oh.
The way that Purification played that last fight, it almost was like he expected the Nautilus to be there, but he was nowhere to be found. So I think that's why it convinced QO to pop that ult so quickly. It does look like Program has rotated bot lane, and they really want this dragon. They pinged it out a couple times, and with the mid laner rotating down, this might be the perfect time to try to pick that up.
Yeah, Mountain Drake is probably one of the stronger early game Drakes, along with that Ocean as well. Cloud Drake, of course, just got a buff in 6:15, 25 move speed instead of 15, scaling up appropriately as time goes on. So it is now still, as of right now, a pretty strong contender, and a little bit more even with the rest of the Drakes. But teams still do prefer those Oceans, those Mountains, and those Infernals. A bit more visceral stat.
Yes, the more visible the stat line, the more you want it. Nautilus has been seen bot lane. He's walking into lane, pinged out, and that might hint that we have some action in the top lane, as you know where the enemy jungler is.
Yeah, Grani actually crossing that mid lane line, looking to head up towards the top side jungle on the way up as well. Now that they know Huevos is in that bot lane. You do have to be careful though, Huevos is still sticking around, looks to be coming around from behind, especially out from under the tower, going to try and make something happen.
But with the damage coming out from oh.
Purification comes in, forces the flash from Kyo actually. Huevos does get much for his trouble, but he does burn the flash of the AD carry. Kyo won't have that up for another couple minutes, and therefore they can definitely try for a peak gank in the bot lane within that time frame.
Not sure how much I like that flash coming out from Kyo. He almost seemed to not trust his support to peel for him. Yes, the Nautilus was almost close enough to get that ultimate onto him, but a well-timed Janna tornado, which that was, definitely prevented him from getting in range.
Very true. Janna, of course, also still had the Monsoon, which is a lower cooldown than the Flash. Maybe not necessarily necessary. Oh, there it is. Grani getting that gank up in the top lane. Does manage to get the Flash from Tuba as well. So Flash is traded on both sides of the map by the respective jungler presences. But top lane, of course, a little bit trickier, as he does not have the escape to get away from Fiora as well in the 1v1. So look for some attention there in the top lane as the flashes are down.
Yes, that's a big area to start ganking, to start throwing repeated pressure in. We're going to see the Sivir Janna lane backing up. The Flash ultimate misses, and not much mana on the side of Program to follow up if that did hit, so it looks like that was entirely hoping to stack with that Rumble ult. But I'm not sure if I agree with that.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of damage to come through if you have it, but Gelati did have Flash still, and is still Karthus, can still contribute to fights even when he's dead. So maybe not the greatest choice of moves there by Program, but that being said, both Flashes down in the mid lane as well. Gelati's teleport coming up actually relatively soon, so he will be able to walk back to base and have that presence up for the next fight.
Yes, and Exhaust still up for this Orianna, so the Orianna has a bit more pressure in terms of these fights because it is a combat spell, if you will. But I would like to see this Rumble come back to the mid lane as opposed to the top lane, just because of how these lanes have been forming up.
Did he steal that?
He did.
Well,
it looks like that gold did go over the Orianna.
Well, Program gonna snipe the Raptor away from Huevos, gonna pick himself up a little bit extra gold. Good stuff on the side of the mid laner from ABE, cutting off a little bit of the roam there. But Gelati and Program back at it in the mid lane, and this time Gelati already has the tier and the Roa, so he is stacking quickly. That card is going to be very scary very quickly. Meanwhile, Orianna only sitting on the Morella Nomicon right now, so not really having as great of an impact in terms of items at the moment, in terms of potential scaling. But they do have, well, they have a little bit more damage as of right this particular moment if fights do break out around this dragon, which is where...
Yeah, we're going to have a gank coming through. Orianna is getting hit.
Here it goes. When it comes in, the shockwave comes through. Gelati takes a lot of damage from the Rumble and the Equalizer, but it is Kyo who picks up the first blood. Requiem comes out, doesn't drop anybody, but Program and Kyo are both very low. And that's going to be the end of that.
You can see how much damage that Ultimate did at such an early level across the board. Kyo took about 200, 250 damage off of that, which to an ADC, even though he has special flash engage.
Ronnie gets picked off, the relationship comes through, he just gets juggled in the air. Huevos with a revenge kill, picks up the jungler right off the back of that one as well. Grand Challenge issue in the top lane as well. Tuba gonna take a chunk of damage. One more vital to hit. Doesn't manage to get the second vital and is forced to back away as Tuba gets under the tower. In the meantime, though, ATN gonna take that first mountain break off the back of the death of ABE's jungler. Well played there.
The only thing I would say went wrong for them was losing that Dragon Rumble. That combo was the big thing that turned that fight against them, or the trade, all of it. Because if they lost one or the other, yes, that's a trade, you got the mid laner, that's good. But losing both is going to hurt them, not just now, but also in the future. Yeah, that plays out.
Definitely true. That being said, coming up on the 15-minute mark, 1 kill apiece for both these teams and a slight gold lead. ABE managed to extend that out to about 1,000. A lot of it, as before, good chunk of that in that bottom lane. A 40 almost CS lead for QO on that Sivir. Does have a little bit of an easier
in the
time.
top lane though.
Here comes Durrani for the gank as well. Tuba does manage to just walk away though, does pop back into the Mininar. And does manage to get the extra bonus to move speed to retreat under the safety of his tower. A bit of a waste of Garani's time, but does get the pressure there to keep him under control.
Bit of a cheeky play though, as Fiora was sitting in the topside bush, just waiting for that Gnar to push the lane. I think if they were a bit more patient, or had Tuba not reset that ward in his river, they would have gotten the kill there.
Yeah, as of right now, you can see sort of the trading power of that Sivir, taking a lot of damage and a lot of pretty big chunks off of Rixie's health bar, just with the trades of Ricochet and the threat of that boomerang blade. But in the meantime, 30. Here comes Huevos though. Flash blown out from Andy. He's gonna get the Mega Gnar. There it is, Gnar into the wall. Huevos picks himself up another kill in the top lane with the Riptide.
Andy playing a bit too aggressive there, did not have the repose to block some of that stun or the damage coming out. And we're gonna have a gank.
Equalizer onto Rixie in the bot lane, but that is going to be a teleport canceled out from Gelati. They are very low and forced to back away, but that tower dive cannot go through. The flash is blown. He gets the carries out of the way. The arcane shift out of danger as well. Huevos and Tuba pushing in the top lane in the meantime as the lanes rotate. Looks like both teams going to be aiming for the bot lane turret now that the early game period is over. The towers are a little bit easier to take.
Yes, and top lane turret is not going to go down. Ultimate used, and he's going to go down. The flash coming out.
Tuba takes it with that. Andy teleporting into a 1v2 to try and hold the tower. Maybe not the greatest idea. But in the meantime, program coming up to clear the wave, but Gelati pushing in the mid lane non-stop as well. Backs away though, as he does know that the bot lane is missing after they took the tower.
That Orianna might be able to take both of them in the top lane, or at least keep them from taking that tower as long as she can.
Purification going to clear out the wards as they clear out vision on each other's sides of the jungle, moving up towards that mid lane as Josh and QO join up as well. Gelati though is the Karthus, does have a large amount of wave clear, is going to be able to clear that one pretty easily as it approaches the turret.
Yes, the Fiora's about to come online, but I don't think it's enough. It looks like this Gnar in the top lane is going straight towards a GA. Not sure how I like that build, but it's definitely going to make him even more oppressive and hard to kill for this Fiora.
Yeah, very true. It's not as offensive as the Black Cleaver, which we do see a lot more often in the 1v1 lanes, but defensive stats are always great. Gnar has a fantastic time with those. Ezreal, in the meantime, has the tier stacking up, finished the Iceborne Gauntlet. Fiora finished the Ravis Hydra and working towards that Black Cleaver with the Phage as well. Protobelt also picked up for Gorani in the jungle, so that Rumble is going to have that gap closer with the Protobelt to be able to jump forward and fire off a bit more of the spell rotation in a bit closer proximity.
I think that we haven't really paid much attention to how many shields this team actually is sitting on in terms of the Janna, the Orianna, the Rumble. you can start stacking these shields, and late game in these fights, it's going to be an unseen health bar that this team is going to have to deal with.
Very true, especially considering Josh is actually picking up the Gelati's dropping pretty low here though. Here comes the wall, Shockwave comes in, and the equalizer comes in as well. But Garani not going to be able to save him from the Requiem, and there it goes. But he's overheating. Huevos is here as well, takes a chunk out of his health bar. Gelati getting the revenge kill on the program in the mid lane.
Yeah, that was just pure going man mode. What do you do when your Q is on cooldown? Well, I'm just going to walk into him and ult on top of myself. That was a bit bold. I would have almost waited for that Q to come off cooldown, because right now it should not be too high. And, you know, the Karthus had already moved out of position. Yes, he could have flashed, but I still think she gets the kill no matter what. Action in the mid lane though. Just kind of resetting right now. We're not going to see too much action. The duo lanes have moved to the top. They're going to try to take down this mid lane. We're going to have Rumble coming in.
Yep, going to have a little bit
poke.
Huevos?
This is the
buddy.
wall.
Huevos whips the hook a little bit, not great.
King's coming out trying to get this dragon.
Yep, mid lane going to come through. Ricochet's going to clear the wave. Huevos finds Garani in the jungle. Doesn't manage to get very much more than a little bit of damage on him, but that's going to be about that. Nothing so happening right now. They are taking the Ocean Drake here as well. Going to be that one for ABE, but Huevos goes right in. Glacier Pitch are going to come through, and that's going to be a lot of damage coming in. He's going to be forced to jump back the other way. Grand Challenge procs in the back line, but Gelati's going to drop as well in the mid. Does have the passive up, does have that Deathify, but is going to finally fall. 2 for 1 in favor of ABE and the Ocean Drake to boot.
A lot of damage coming out from that Karthus. That was one of those things that you don't really understand until it happens, but the Janna ultimate is sitting there, and the Rumble could not stay in it because the Karthus had died on that ultimate. So it was both a stay in my ult, and it's not going to matter if you do.
Yeah, unfortunately Tuba wasn't there for them as well. Bit of a 4v5 in that fight there by the Dragon. Does not manage to take advantage of it right yet. Oh, does manage to stop Program's back. That is going to be an exhaust coming out very quickly. One more auto attack will do it, but Rixie is not quite close enough. Does manage to get it. That's going to be Purification tanking, and not quite. Rixie going to fall. Josh going to pick up the kill off the back of the turret. A bit of a mistake in the aggro juggle, but they do trade a 1-for-1.
Yeah, I think Ezreal thought that the Braum was already tanking at that moment because he jumped right in there, and there's no reason for him to do that.
Yeah, it was not maybe the most highlight reel worthy of plays, but he does manage to pick the kill, and the mid lane turret does fall under the pressure from ATN. 23 minutes in, 2 towers apiece, 1 dragon apiece, 6 kills to 5, and the game is pretty even, except for those farm leads at right now. Sivir with that lead of about 1,600 here as we move towards the 23-24 minute mark.
Blue buff going over to Karthus. That's going to give him a lot more harass, as the already infinite mana that he has is just never going to go down. This is going to start to become a problem for them if they cannot get onto this Karthus at the beginning of these fights.
Definitely true. They did have some success doing it last time and zoned him out with the rest of his team, forcing them back off the engage, but that's going to be much more difficult to do as he goes on, gets item, actually has that Seraph's Embrace completed, does have the shield coming out as well. Looking to potentially building towards a Death Cat maybe, or a Zanya's next. Amp Tome, of course, there's a lot of things that build into that. We'll see how that one goes.
Has been completed on this Gnar. He's going to go in onto the Sivir, already doing a lot of damage.
Does
the
get
popped
it.
Out.
Ultimate pops out, the Neganar is coming through, but it's not going to be enough right now. Wallop comes through, Meganar into the wall, Gelati's here as well, but Teleport comes in from the left-hand side. Andy Hung is here as well. Equalizer comes in from Garani, he's going to fall, takes down Gelati, but Program blows the ultimate, not quite enough there. Tuba's going to take a lot of damage, but here comes the rest of the team, and Young's in a lot of danger, going to get one more away from getting procced up. One auto attack, gets there as a stun in the back line, but Garani pumping out tons of damage on the enemy team. Q is on a killing spree in the back. Huevos is going to take a ton of damage and have to back away. But in the meantime, it's a 2-for-1. Flash is away from the hook, and that's going to be the disengage of that fight. ATN trades 1 for 2, but ABE comes out on top.
Yeah, that was a good idea from Tuba. He knew that he was stronger than both the bot lane, and went in knowing that the Karthus was there to back him up. The only thing, they did not have vision of the rest of the team, so when the Rumble ult came out, the Karthus went down so quickly that he wasn't able to have that damage in that choke point. The Orianna did get lost in rotation and taken out by the Baron pit, and then they decided, ATN, to continue through, keep fighting against a Rumble and Sivir in a choke point, with Sivir just has to pop bouncing blades, and she's doing immense amounts of damage. I think that was a very good idea in concept, but then the second that they got the Orianna and lost the 2 top lane, they should have backed off, they should have retreated, and just left that.
Yeah, Sivir does put a lot of damage out when you are grouped up in a corner like ATN did just there, but they are looking to take the bot lane tower. Huevos, Tuba, and Rixie here as well. But that's going to be some members of AB converging in the bot side as well. Kyo and Andy Hyung are here, but that turret is very low if they get hurt. But that's a 4v3 coming out right now. Howling Gale comes out, doesn't manage to tag anybody. They successfully defend the turret so far. Purification coming down to join the rest of the team as Gelati still pushes in the top lane. Does have the teleport available though. Oh, here comes On the Hunt. Kyo going to try and run down Purification, but that's going to be Mayor Huevos gets engaged on instead. True Shot Barrage comes out across the team. Luckily, Ireland Tower gets popped there. Equalizer popped on the 2, but Shockwave pulls him back into the team, and he's going to drop right then and there. Young's going to pick up the kill as Tuba falls. 5-man push here in the bot lane.
Big pickup. That Gnar is both the engage and disengage for this team. With Mini Gnar, he's able to just slow everyone, slow that chase down. Looks like they're going to re-engage though. Yeah, here comes the Glacial Fidget coming through. There's going to be the Equalizer onto Flame Spitter coming out. Garande's going to get exhausted and overheated. Can't contribute much right now. Manages to get the damage and the burn onto Rixie. He's going to drop immediately. Purification, Mayor Huevos having to run for their lives. Ricochet Crit's going to pick up the kill, and Huevos is in a lot of trouble right now. Howling Gale's going to pick it up. Josh picks up the kill and secures it in the backside as ABE pushes into the tower 4, dropping 4 members of the enemy team in quick succession. Gelati cancels the teleport. Good idea from him. That turret falls pretty quickly, and he's going to have to walk away as Hyung is in the top lane to match him as well. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what they were thinking about the re-engage there. Maybe it was just ult timers that made them go, maybe not. But nothing had changed after losing Gnar that would have signaled them winning that fight. They decided to go in. They already lost their top laner. They're engaging at a deficit. That was a bad idea.
Yeah, that's what we said. With those series of misplayed team fights, that's going to be ABE right now squeaking ahead. That lead that was closer to about 6,600 has now extended to about a 6,000 to 7,000 gold lead coming into the 27-minute mark. 7 kills, 11, and extra 2 turrets here for ABE, and they're starting to open this map wide open. We're going to cement the objective control and try to get those Barons and Dragons as we move on across the rift. But ATN looking to make a play on the Baron right now, clearing out the vision as the team converges there in the top lane. But they have the bottom lane inhibitor down. Super Minion's going to pour into that base on the opposite side of the map. It's going to be very tricky for them.
Yeah, right now this is their game to lose. I don't see them dropping behind much further. The Sivir, Janna are going to be able to essentially walk to a lane, decide to take down the towers there, slowly push it in while bot side supers start pushing it out. I don't see them lose.
Yeah, well, neither do I. That's going to be the Dragon coming up. Cloud Drake picked up here for ABE, I believe. The next one is just going to be just shy of the Elder. We might have another regular Dragon here as well. Didn't manage to see what it was on the screen. That's going to be Sweepers going out here for ABE as they move towards the Baron control, having secured themselves that Dragon objective in the meantime.
That's going to be another Mountain Drake.
Looks like it might be a dive onto here. Garani positioning in the backside. Gelati going to be able to clear the wall. Here comes the Ghost Avenger, forces the flash out from Garani over the wall. But that's going to be a disengage ultimate down here for ATN.
if they're gonna want to engage, Orianna pushing the tower in the mid lane is going to be a fight.
Here it goes. Waves comes in. The Grand Challenge drops here onto Purification, who is going to fall. Flashes the back. Hume's going to pick up the kill onto Gelati, but he is going to be able to get some damage with the Requiem down. Doesn't manage to drop anybody. That's a large chunk of damage. Program in the meantime going to push down that mid lane as the 4 of ABE collapse back onto the tower. ATN is very low. It can't really afford to stay here. Rixie managed to get a little bit of damage. Tuba can't really fight Program right now. He's going to drop. Guardian Eagle's going to get popped as well. And Orianna just going to walk calmly away.
Low-key, really nice spell shield from QO. He blocked the Nautilus knockup at the last second. That would have left him in the midst of this Karthus and probably got him killed.
Yeah, in the meantime, however, that being said, what he does do is in fact block it and get not dead. Meanwhile, ABE using their pressure to roll down 2 turrets, might be able to pack Premier Huevos here as Program gets the slowdown, but choosing to disengage and walk away, take the jungle back, pick themselves up some items with the gold that they've achieved, and potentially make more plays across the map as they push ATN further and further into their base. All outer towers down here for ATN as we hit the 30-minute mark. That's 7 turrets to 2.
This Fiora is sitting on about 2.6k gold when she did go back. Same with the Orianna, sitting at about 2k gold. Probably about to hit an item breakpoint. That's why she's taking the Raptors there and leaving the big one. Get smited away. Orianna has not gone B, so she is working at a deficit. There she goes. But if they do rush the Baron, they're not going to have the Orianna for this fight.
Very true. That being said, Andy Young does pick up the large item. Frozen Mallet completed. Death Cap actually was the breakpoint he was looking for. Program going to do a lot of damage from now on. 3-item Orianna, Rylai's, Death Cap, Morellonomicon, looking to just chunk as many people as possible as quickly as possible.
And they did get Baron pressure. We're going to have Scuttle spawn in and probably immediately die. Gnar has to deal with this bot lane. He does have his teleport up, so he can join the fight. Let's see how well he's going to be able to maintain his rage bar for this fight coming in.
Equalizer comes around the corner. Gelati's got the Grand Challenge, but does have the Zhonya's. Mayor Huevos is going to drop. Gelati going to drop as well. Grand Challenge comes in. That's not going to be enough damage. Gnar into the wall right off there from Tuba, but there's no follow-up. Misses the jump over the wall and gets to blow the exhaust onto Garani. He's going to fall regardless, and that's going to be probably a very, very quick 4 kills here for ABE. That's going to be an ace coming in for ABE. ATN in the choke point of the jungle walks face first into a Rumble ult.
And that's going to be game. That's they have the bot lane pushing. The inhibitor is not going to spawn in time. With all members up, that is going to be some GGs coming out.
Very true. That's going to be ABE taking the first Nexus tower, then the second, looking towards the Nexus with even 6 seconds left on those respawn timers. ABE going to take the first game here at Local Legends over Adequate Team Name in just under 33 minutes.